All right, bro. We're gonna go ahead and cut that because the intro didn't
Dang,
work. We were both behind the scenes, like you could see us in the green room again.
bro, rugging me as always. Put me
I
on the
saw you
spot.
like I was like looking at the stream and you're like dancing around again.
Dude, I'm glad I didn't have, like, my shirt off, like, prepping up for stream. That's usually my, like, pre-stream prep, like, I take my shirt off, I run around the room in circles.
Yeah. So I was like, I just realized that. I was like, oh my God, it's showing both of us in the green room.
Oh,
Oh, we have OG Vault in the chat. What's up? What's going on? GM Bruin
GM
88.
Vault.
Omar
I was on
Cook.
Vault's channel yesterday during the potion drop.
Nice. I'm scrolling through the chat. We have Daniel Marquez, SoCal Omi Homie, channel members in the house, too, Double Quill, and many others. Welcome everybody in. Happy to have you guys here on the live stream. Yeah, we got a lot to get into, man. Hulk smash, old OUP.
Yeah.
Smash. What do you
Yeah, dude.
by the way, we got to do our quick DEGEN Dads intro. Welcome to the DEGEN Dad Pod with me and your host Kyle and Chris here. Chris Coffee.
Ew.
Welcome in.
GM.
Another episode where we talk BB Web3 and everything crypto. Well, not everything crypto, more like everything NFT.
And crypto. We talk crypto news.
Ooh,
I have some crypto news to share today in this episode.
little crypto,
Like
little
I'm
Omi,
nerd
little
on.
this, little that. Chat. I'm curious. We'll get the chat engaged here. Thoughts on OMI token right now? It is down pretty big. Thoughts on that? Throw it in the chat. What's your thoughts on OMI right now? Are you looking? What are you doing? What's your thoughts? Curious what chat thinks about that. Chris, what's up, man? We got a lot of topics to cover. VDMA, AMA. First up, that's a lot to cover, really.
Yeah.
We have OMI token we can talk about, IMX updates. We have second trip other side, spatial cavernous airdrops around Web3, royalties, contract migration, Disney, Magic Eden, Binance, Ticketmaster. We have a lot of topics
bro.
to cover, man. Thoughts about
Thoughts about what?
thoughts about the AMA or whatever you're about to say.
Well, I actually haven't listened to the AMA, so I was kind of excited to hear your take on it today because I know you streamed it yesterday. So I've heard mixed feelings about it. Some people led them super bullish. Some people didn't really care. There's been all kinds of stuff. It's been kind of a crazy week. So I can't really say much opinion on it because I wasn't there. I hope that some of the recent issues were addressed. I hope that they're not swept under the rug completely because some of that's a big deal. But yeah, man, thoughts on OMI. I made I tweeted yesterday, last year during February, I sold 2 bags of coffee for 5,000 OMI and I paid for shipping. And that 5,000 OMI is now worth $3.21. So I was joking that like this is like the guy spending a Bitcoin on pizza, but like the opposite, like where like I got screwed, not the person paying in crypto.
Like it's like reverse Bitcoin pizza. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, reverse Bitcoin pizza.
Yeah. It's not pretty out there in the marketplaces these days. All right, so I guess VDAMA, like I streamed it yesterday. I was hoping you had kind of seen it or maybe got some like read some tweet threads or whatever to
Oh, I
kind of
read stuff about it. I just didn't listen to it yet.
get your thoughts on the whole thing. My thoughts on it was it was kind of flat. I was kind of hoping for a little bit more. It is exciting that they are doing like the VEVEVERSE beta. So don't get me wrong. I'm not like I told people that I was just kind of like and then people thought I was like being bearish because I thought the AMA was just kind of meh. Yeah, but that's not really what I mean. I'm still like fine. Like I still bought OMI. So like I'm not that doesn't make me bearish or anything like that. It's just that the AMA itself to me, like I was hoping for more of a bigger update. But it's really just stuff they've already mentioned in previous AMAs, and we've heard them in spaces time and time again. They just keep saying the same information. And it sounds like they'll have to do more dev time. So that's kind of for me. That's the part I was kind of like, these are updates. Sure, they're updates, and it's well communicated. And from that end, it was good. But it sounds like there wasn't like any hard timelines, and they missed all the Q1 deadlines. So, you know, nothing's coming out in Q1, but the VEVEVERSE beta comes out next month. So that is exciting. Definitely. I've been waiting for that I think we all have been waiting for something for like forever. So that's kind of exciting. And all in all, they're changing the OUP program. I haven't gone back and rewatched it. I need to go back and rewatch that part. But everybody in chat, everybody on Twitter, they're merging, you know, OUP with MCP. That's
Mhm.
very interesting. To me, that sounds like a lot of extra dev time, and it doesn't sound like they'll get to that soon. It sounds like they're focused primarily on rolling out the core features that are on the roadmap. So that's not going to be, you know, that's not going to really be, I mean, like, for instance, the wait list or the queue that they've been trying to, like, release, like, for a year now, that's supposed to be around the corner. So those type of features we'll see first, like the in-app features that we've been expecting for a while now, those will come out first. It doesn't sound like we'll get OMI to NFT it for a while, in my opinion. Again, I think they'll roll out more of the Web 2 features that we want in the app there, and then they'll start working on the Web3 stuff, and Mitch even brought that up. So, from the way my brain works, that's how I interpreted it, but some people interpret it like super bullish or like, "Oh, this was the best AMA ever." But I'm like, I've invested into software, like, for a very long time. I know how these things work. I know how dev times work, timelines, like, this isn't new to me. So when I heard that AMA, my brain processed it a little bit different
Yeah.
people. So that's where I'm coming from, but I am excited to get that beta. Hopefully,
So
fingers crossed on that.
rewinding to like the middle of that, they're gonna rewrite the OUP. Is that what you said?
Yep, yep.
Well,
So
that's
we'll get
weird.
a
I mean, it's not weird. Like, it makes sense because like regulations change, strategy changes, but like, dude, OUP came out like 2 years ago, and then like the actual like OUP V1 or whatever came out like last year. I even had Reese on my channel to answer questions about the OUP. So like, hopefully they don't like dramatically change it, but I mean, maybe they'll change it for the best. I don't know, but that's very interesting.
GM. We have a lot of comments coming in too.
That was
Oh my
Phil.
god, you almost biffed it. Yes, that would have
Yeah.
been great. I would have flipped and shipped that like immediately on
I'm
Twitter.
just too hyped, bro. Had too
Yeah.
much coffee this morning. It's too excited for this podcast.
So yeah, the OUP article, the new like MCP, the merge thingy, that's coming out. That's supposed to be next week. Now, Reese did kind of backtrack though when he was like saying that or whenever we released the article. So allegedly, it could be coming out next week. So we'll get a glance at what the new economics look behind it,
Okay.
because obviously, like, it's scrapping the old OUP. So pretty much. So we'll see after we'll have to like everybody's gonna have to rethink their strategy based on this new program, the MCP OUP being merged like that, in my opinion. I think it's possible that it could look a lot different.
I was looking at the price. Looks like the price it's down 7% in the last 24 hours. Dude, I really don't think the Wells like that OTC thing. And then I don't know exactly what that would have to do with OMI, but yeah, I mean, OMI's. You would think that them saying that they're going to rewrite the article and that it's going to come out in the next few weeks would be like a good time to buy, before the official news, but that's not what the market's saying.
Yeah, so we got a couple of interesting comments in chat as well. OG Vault makes a great point. Let's see here. Omi to NFT seem bullish to me. So I did get a lot of those comments as well. Got a lot of that feedback, at least in the chats I'm in the private chats. Some people were excited about that. To me, I think it'll take a little bit of dev time there, but that is exciting because they did mention that quite a bit in the AMA. So in terms of that, we could see that we could see some a lot of features roll out in Q2 and Q3. So that's, again, I'm sticking with my kind of synopsis or my outlook on Vivi and Omi, is that this was the year of delivery. So I knew they're going to overshoot Q1. So to me, it wasn't a surprise. So again, I remain kind of constant in where my headspace is at, and my expectations have been pretty much on point. So I'm not really necessarily like shook or anything like that. Mark Robertson on the flip side says, I feel like Omi isn't making any moves for the moment, and OUP didn't convince me in the AMA, merging it to a loyalty program. So a lot of I've heard that a little bit too, like the AMA wasn't quite convincing. And on the flip side, the whales weren't, as you said, Chris, weren't really pleased with the OTC. We had a few OGs in the community confirm that with and even mention that in spaces. I'm not going to name drop out of respect, but they did confirm that their whale friends were angry about the OTC situation. So definitely some like, the AMA trying to smooth things out, smooth things over. Was it enough? That's kind of the question I think that needs to be had. Was the AMA really enough to push that momentum back forward for
Mm.
VV and the VVverse? Here's my take on it, and and then I want to ask you what your take is on this, all of it. But my take on this is the VVverse may be enough to have the community organically pump everything because that's what we see in spaces all the time. People get kind of excited about things. And the VVverse, I think, is a big enough mover to maybe re-inspire and reinvigorate the community organically. I think the community is really good at hyping themselves up. And I think that's kind of what's going to happen here. Not the AMA. I think it's going to be the VVverse primarily. And when people are starting to get those beta accesses into the VVverse to try it out. But anyways, that's my thoughts on it. Chris, what's your thoughts?
So the VVverse is beta is just going to be like what we saw in California, right? Like essentially, it's going to be that experience.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the same experience there.
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool, and I feel like people can do really cool stuff with it. Hopefully, it's, like, integrated socially, so, like, we can, like, go, like, hang out there, because ultimately, I think if Vivi drives more retention to the app, that's bullish for the app, and that's bullish for Vivi. But if it's more of just, like, just doing the same thing we already do, but in, like, more of a virtual reality experience, that's really cool, and I think people would do really cool things with it, but that's not bullish enough for me to drive momentum. I did it, and it was nice. It was a cool experience. It's a lot like Spatial, if you're familiar with Spatial. Don't they use like the same company, or they use Spatial? So I mean, it's essentially walking around in your vault in virtual reality. I have an Oculus Quest. I like it. I used it, less than 24 hours. And I've had it for 2 years. Some people use their Oculus Quest all the time, their VR all the time. That's not my cup of tea. Whereas some video games I've spent over 1,000 hours on. Trading, I've spent over 1,000 hours trading. So it's like, I just don't know that experience is enough for me to be bullish. I think it's cool, and I hope to see it, but it's not like this. I don't really know people's expectations of the beta VVverse, and I hope that they don't set them too high. I say that with grace, as in like it's cool, it's a cool experience, but like it's just not something I see a majority of people spending a ton of time on. And I think a lot of people are going to get really excited about it and maybe use it a lot at first, and then only like probably small groups will actually be using it all the time, because again, it's essentially the same experience you have on the app already, just a virtual reality experience of that, of like walking around your vault, which is cool. And I don't want to downplay that.
Yeah. There's a lot there to unpack. And Double Quill mentioned too. At least they mentioned they hinted at interoperability and Immutable X. And my take on that was Mitch mentioned specifically the ZK EVM and how that was interesting and that they could explore that. Again, that's going to take a lot of dev time and it's going to require Immutable X to scale that accordingly. And obviously, it's going to be pretty seamless though, because Polygon's already developed the ZK EVM. So Immutable is really just using their tech stack and plugging that into Immutable X. But I still think that with ZK EVM and the ZK network being so new, we're pretty much seeing just bridges being built when it comes to ZK roll-ups and things like that. So the ecosystem still has to be built out there, and they probably won't get to exploring that fully until that's like really I guess a effective thing to actually look at when the time is right. So I am excited about it long term, but short term I don't think they'll get to that. Again, I think they'll focus on those primary features that we've been kind of looking forward to. And Chris's point out the VVverse, yeah, that's gonna be interesting. I'm more of a PC guy. Now let's see, OG Vault. He says he loves his Oculus Quest.
Yeah,
Now,
he buys land, and he plays a VR. I don't know if it's considered a game, but where he like buys land and explores.
yeah, so everybody that I know that has an Oculus are always big fans of it. So I'm not gonna make a prejudgment yet on that because I don't have a VR headset. I have a sister and a, my I guess brother-in-law, they have a headset together. They love it. They're like mainstream like type of users. They don't know anything about blockchain. So I do see the potential long run for VR to be a good place where people can have fun and hang out with their friends and family in the VVverse. Like I could see that
But
being
can
it.
I pause? Can I pause you right there?
No, 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 you can't. No, I'm
The
just kidding.
important part of that is, and I think my bar is like on one, so I apologize for the blurriness. Hopefully my audio is clear. Is that to me, the VR is a very social experience. Every time I play VR, I like to play with friends, with family. Me and my dad just played some putt-putt on VR like a couple weeks ago and had a blast. So I hope that the VVverse is social. I hope that you can like go to other people's vaults and look around at what they have created. If they do that in beta, I think that would drive huge retention. And then also content creators could be able to use that. Me, you, Vault, all the other content creators, like you could actually like showcase like in VR, like during a live, like what you're experiencing, looking through like a really cool vault design built by the Vaultaholics or something. Like I think that would be really cool, like just everything, like social aspect. But if it's just like you being able to walk around your vault in VR, I just don't know the retention of that after like the initial hype.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, VR. See, I'm more of a like I love graphics. I'm a graphics guy. So that's why I really love PC. And my graphics card's insane. So I definitely want to look at it on my computer and because with all VR apps, you can just use your PC like Spatial. Like right now, Spatial, I can pull it up in my browser and it streams at like I think they only optimize for 30 frames per second, but in the future they could do 60 frames per second and it look like gaming quality also with good rendering and good graphics and things like that. So that's where I'm excited about more than the actual VR itself because I'm like I have like 4 monitors, you know what I mean? I'm pretty
Yeah.
immersed. Like I don't necessarily need a headset. So that's where I'm coming from as like a kind of a computer nerd, but I do want a VR headset. Because I could plug one into my computer and it utilized my graphics card. So long run, I am excited. I do think that the supply chain will have to bring the VR headsets to be more affordable. Facebook's done a really good job in doing that. They subsidize their headsets, but we need to see more companies, and Apple really needs to get into space. And I think that's when we'll start to see kind of the meta shift, no pun intended. Um, but this is just we're so early in my opinion to everything, watching the metaverse bricks being like laid, the foundation. And I think that's where we are. And it's taking a lot slower than we initially thought because there is so many moving parts. There's so much things that have to fall into place and these companies laying people off. Like, you know what I mean? So there's so
Yeah.
much macro that has to play out for this to really like be mainstream adopted and things like that. But VV again, they kind of actually do have a little bit of a now that Meta's kind of fired everybody and Disney's fired everybody, kind of a little bit of a chip there. So they do have a slight advantage there. But they're
Every month we talk about how like VV can like really fumble the ball, but like they end up getting lucky and get the recovery every single
exactly.
time.
Yeah, it's like, dude, it's like freaking destiny or something weird.
It's like I watched this show a couple weeks ago. What was it? Oh, Monsters Inc. with one of my girls, and like they were doing a bowling tournament, and it's like they suck at bowling, but all the other competitors keep on getting hurt. So, so like they keep on winning every match, and I think they end up like winning the tournament because like they got lucky and like the other players got hurt or backed out or cheated or something like that. And at the end, they win the tournament, and that's how I feel sometimes with Vivi. Is like well, obviously they are building things good. Like they just do stuff that doesn't make sense sometimes, like the OTC thing, and somehow, some way, they just keep on go. Like right around that time, they Disney announces that they
oops.
fire their Metaverse division, so now they got the advantage again. So I don't know, it's kind of funny watching it unfold.
Speaking of which, Chris is coming in at like pixelated sandbox. Dude, when sandbox avatar of Chris right here. You look like your old PFP right there.
Oh, dude, I forgot about that PFP. People said that I looked like a scammer because I had like when I would like message them and stuff. I love that though. It was made by VV Punk, so I really liked it. It's even had like little my like little green headset that I wear a lot. Yeah, I don't know,
Thought
man.
you were a
Well,
scammer.
maybe you being a tech guy can help me with my my internet later because I just upgraded my modem and apparently that wasn't enough. So maybe I got to internet upgrade my internet speed.
Yeah, COVID's makes a point there. More users have access to mobile phone or device than a PC or headset. That's a good point. VV is a mobile app, so I mean, I could see them. I mean, it's fine, right? You could still view your assets there, but for I think the people that have headsets that have PCs will still want an experience, and the content creators, like Chris was saying, I think it'll be important for people like me and Chris to create content in those like immersive experiences, and people just watch that kind of stuff too. So
Yeah, dude. We mentioned earlier, like, talking about the like Disney firing people, but that was some pretty big news this week. And let's not forget that, like, only a couple weeks ago, Instagram announced that they're going to retract their digital collectibles experience. So for a while, you actually were able to upload your NFTs on Instagram, which nobody freaking used because it was a really lame feature. But either way, like they spent the time and effort to implement that, and they're going back on it now and basically saying that it's not a priority right now. And on top of that, we just saw Disney lay off 50 employees of the Metaverse division, which I know you covered live. I made a video on yesterday. So overall, I feel like things aren't looking great for NFTs. Now, granted, a lot of this is really just because of like macro. Like if you actually go and read like why Disney cut the division, it's just because they're not doing good on finances. So what do you do as a business owner when you're not doing good? You find divisions that aren't making you money and you cut them, or like that aren't as effective and you cut them. So essentially, the Metaverse division was like a startup of like, hey, let's try this out. But I mean, if they're not doing good on money and they have to lay, I think they laid off what 7,000 total employees. Like if they have to lay out off an entire division, it makes sense that it would be a new one that wasn't really generating income. That was more of a speculative section. So I think it'll come back. But right now, macro is kind of rough.
yeah, it's rough. It's like a back road, it's like it's gonna lead to somewhere, but there's gonna be a pothole in there. There might be a deer running across the road. It's like the Oregon Trail, you're gonna have to cross. You might get dysentery. No, I'm kidding. I'm just
What?
I was just trying to take it somewhere.
That
I
went
don't know where
somewhere,
else to
man.
go
Maybe I can go on the
with
Oregon Trail through my Quest headset.
that. You died of dysentery. All right. Second, speaking of like metaverse, this is also good for web. I think it's good for Web3, to be honest, because a lot of Web2 players are kind of like, I don't know about right now. Amazon's going to launch NFTs supposedly, unless they didn't like fire everybody in that department. But
Yeah.
again, like the marketplace and NFTs in itself are actually easy to drop, especially for a large company. So that's why I think they'll continue, like Disney will continue just to drop NFTs. It's like, yeah, we have the assets. We've had these assets for like forever. So of course we're going to drop them as NFTs. So I think they'll continue to do that. It's the experience part and the metaverse part itself where that part will take a long time. But
Yeah,
second trip,
honestly,
other
I know they're
side.
not. I know they're
Yeah.
not going to do this, but I feel like Amazon should just drop like an NFT that has like Prime utility, to where as long as you're holding that NFT, you have Prime. Like you don't have to. That way, you don't have to like renew every year. But it would also generate them more income than if you were renewing because people would be trading it, and every time they trade, they get percentage of that, and that would probably give them more revenue, and that would give the people who actually hold the Prime NFT more of a or it would give them lifetime access to Prime and maybe even Prime Video and all of that. I think that'd be kind of a cool utility, but I know they're kind of going more in the gaming direction. It's just, being able to speculate like what big companies could do with their own NFTs, like it's the possibilities are endless.
Yeah. Indeed. Other side though, the second trip. Did you see that Basie did their whole second trip, which was all these users, like over 7,500 people got into one lobby and literally gamed.
Yeah.
And you could literally hear everybody. So literally like all these 7,500 people, if you were next to each other, you could hear each other talk. You could turn your mic on and there's proximity chat and you could hear people like, say, hey, what's up? And I streamed it, of course. So
Yeah.
if people can like rewatch that if they want. But I thought that was super cool. And you could use your keyboard and type. And it was all browser based. That was
Mhm.
the insane part. You don't need to download any program. You don't need to put on a VR headset. You just jump into a computer or a browser, and it's highly accessible.
Yeah, man.
What's your thoughts?
I'm OG, man. I was there for the load test like last year at this time. And yeah, it was even the load test was amazing. It wasn't as gamified as this new experience that they released with this second trip. But I watched the videos and it looks so good. I watched some of your stream. I watched Bryson during like the last like 30 seconds how the team had to come back. And it got me excited. Like I don't even have to like know that it's an NFT game or know that it has anything to do with that. But like I watched it and I got into it. Like it was like entertaining for me. Especially Bryson just trying to lead the team the last minute to be able to get like the last few objectives. I had no freaking clue what was going
Are
on, but it
you
was
are
entertaining to
you a
watch.
Bryson fanboy?
I don't know him very well. I just know that one clip
I'm just messing with
particularly.
you, bro.
You want me to pull it up? I mean, it's a
It's
good
like
clip.
I like Bryson.
I'm
I'm
gonna pull
kidding.
it up because you want to
No,
watch it, I
I've
guess.
actually held, I know Bryson. I've hosted some Twitter spaces with Bryson about Web3 gaming when I worked at Miria and Illuvium. I think I've hosted him a couple times, or maybe it was when I worked at Illuvium. I ran up some Twitter spaces with him before. He's really cool. Signed with like very Gary Vaynerchuk's like
Yeah.
Vayner Media or Vayner X or something like that company, and so he's like kind of like signed with him. So um he's like one of the most well-known Web3 gamers. I'm a big Crypto Stash fan as well. So I really like Crypto Stash, one of the old OGs that has been making content forever. I like Crypto Stash as well. All right. So you said you're
Can
gonna
I
pull up.
show the clip? Can I show the clip I was talking about?
Yeah.
Are you cool with that? I forgot how to share
Yeah.
the clip.
So the reason why I was saying that too is because my team beat everybody's.
He didn't. I thought he came through the W on this. All right, I got it. I got it pulled
No,
up.
no.
Can we make it bigger?
Now we
All right,
yeah,
I'm
let me
gonna go
mute.
ahead and
Let
get
me.
your. I'm gonna go ahead and make your stream copyright. Can you hear me? So I'm not gonna
Yeah.
play this whole
Yeah.
thing, but dude, it just like this experience like was exciting.
Are you gonna play it?
Keep pushing everybody.
Dude, I'm about to cry. This is so emotional.
We're gonna go past them right now.
I feel like I'm watching like the end of a movie.
Get those fucking points. No fucking way. Let's fucking go.
Bro.
Wow, my children are watching this right now, and Bryson's just cussing.
I'm
I'm
like,
kidding.
look, dude, I seriously got so hyped my camera couldn't even take it. Like I started crying and my camera has like an auto filter to like not make me look like a wimp. So it like turned off.
Chris's camera rugged him. I have a clip too on Team Galatia because I was on Team Galatia, and we edged out. We were leading like almost the entire time, and then Bryson's team came back at the very end, and we almost got beat, but we didn't. So that was cool.
Oh, see
And
the way he made that look, it looked like his team won.
no, I clipped it. So let me share my screen real quick. From my point of view, let's see if I can pull it up here.
Oh my god.
Holy crap, dude. All right, so this was the end. Like literally, you can see the score right here. Team Galatia's #1. Look at the very end. We beat him by literally like 2,400 points, 2,500 points or so.
Oh, yes. Oh snap.
Yes, let's go team. Holy
Oh my.
Oh my god.
Holy crap, dude.
Oh,
That's freaking wild.
the teleportal is open. The teleportal is open.
Yeah, so anyways,
Kyle
I know you really
Inception
wanted
right
Bryson
there.
to win, but we beat him.
That was Kyle Inception right there. Somebody
Yeah.
just jumped in chat and says, "Is there
So,
any new information?"
It was very close.
Yeah, it was close. Somebody's asking if there's any new information in the release of the VEVEVERSE.
Is there, Chris?
I don't know, in there. Yeah, there is. It's gonna come soon. Where? Oh my god, bro. Anyways, that's yeah, there is. What April? Did they give you a date?
Yeah, so the VEVEVERSE beta is supposed to be in April.
Yeah.
And the OUP like new doc or whatever is supposed to be next week. That's TBD though. and Reese kind of like backtracked on that and said like, or whenever we release it. So we'll see. Okay, let's go to to the next topic. Spatial. Oh, this one's a good one here. Spatial, because we have a lot of spatial peeps in the community that like mess with spatial. So let me go ahead and bring this one up real quick. If I remember how to bring up my own screen, that'd be cool.
I got my camera back, by the way. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm here again.
Chris got camera back. Spatial. Look at this. Experience the official fashion runway design by Miguel. A celebrity is going to be like hosting this whole event. So he's got like metaverse fashion going on. So we're seeing a lot of companies really use spatial. This is interesting. Tommy Hilfiger the other day, but you can see this is like going to be a metaverse like
that pose where his arms are like
runway.
That pose where his arms are behind his body kind of reminds me of like Stranger Things when like somebody gets lifted up and like starts getting their bones crushed.
So you can see here Miguel has like almost 1 million followers. So that's kind of why like just tracking the trajectory of like where spatial's going, I find it quite interesting because again, you know, they're partnering up with these like fashion brands and celebrities, and it's interoperable like with some of these games. Look at this Unity games where you can use these Ready Player Me avatars in spatial. So Ready Player Me as well is really cool, but you're seeing like again more people like chime in on this metaverse stuff and fashion, and of course like they have like this new tool too. You can customize your avatar a little bit better than you were before. That was kind of always available, but yeah, just looking at this, you can see a lot of different fashion stuff going on. Tommy Hilfiger dropping their varsity jackets. So, anyways, just wanted to bring up spatial. It's really cool. A lot to look at because that could be a precursor for these brands really popping off. Meta's fired everybody, so maybe we'll see spatial pop off a little bit more.
Yeah, I probably could find the alpha before this stream is over. But I had a link that lets you claim a free wearable that was pretty limited. I don't know if it was for Decentraland. It wasn't for there's 5,000 of them, free wearable, and Decentraland, which is similar. But maybe I can get the link before the end of the stream and hook up the viewers with some free wearables.
Yeah, do that. Okay, so next up we have Cavernous UX updates. Now this one is coming out of Cavernous. We haven't seen too much around Cavernous really, but it just like was a basic update. Nothing like too crazy. Just a like you can essentially like I think it was just you could go into the UX and UI while you're in VR and mess around in VR while like you're in it. Whereas before I think you is like PC only. So is a small upgrade that they did. Let me see if I can find it here. Thoughts on Cavernous, Chris?
I haven't heard the news. So I was waiting for you to deliver.
All right. Well, there it is, right? Oh, wait. You can see it on screen. So you can see kind of like this here, new XR. UI makes it easy to connect and create in the metaverse. And you can see like this dude in this dash kind of messing around. You can see all these different people streaming in Cavernous, and you have the assets right there, all the different like assets you can like just drop right into the experience and move around. You can obviously see that they're in VR right now and using the wands and things like that. So that's kind of what that is right there.
Cool. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. It looks really similar to like what a social experience through the Quest is.
Yeah. All right. And next up, I mean, we have a lot to get through. Is there any topics you want to cover, Chris? Kind of quiet today.
Yeah, I just didn't know a lot about the Cavernous or the previous one before that. Let me get to. I lost my tab. Where'd it go? Dang it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
PS5. So yeah, PlayStation VR was kind of like not it. It kind of flopped a little bit.
Dude, I don't know. PlayStation VR is actually like what made me bullish on VR.
Yeah, but looking at their sales numbers, they didn't do really good at all. But
No, no, no.
Meta, on the other hand, is still dominating on in terms of like selling the actual headsets
Well,
themselves.
because you don't need a different system for Meta. Like all you have to do is purchase the VR and you're set. You don't need a gaming system and the headset. So like you don't have to spend $500 on a PS5 and then buy a $200-300 headset. You know, like why would you do that when you can just get a better one without a gaming system? The reason I say PlayStation VR made me bullish is because like that was the first VR I ever tried out, and it was actually a Batman game where you like go into a bat cave and like do some missions and stuff. And this was like, I mean, this is a while back. This was years ago before the Quest was even a thing. And I was like, dude, this could really go somewhere. And I remember like wanting to show my friends and family about it. But again, like it wasn't my headset. I didn't want to go buy a PlayStation and buy a VR. I agree with that statement that the AI technology is going to catapult metaverse development. And I
Did
hope
you
that
hear
they're
that?
taking advantage too. What?
Did you hear that beep?
No.
Oh,
What was the beep?
I don't know. I was just testing a soundboard. All right, so
Oh,
yeah, that's a good point too. AI technology is going to catapult metaverse development for sure. We're seeing Unity like integrate Chat GPT in development. I tweeted that a week or two ago, but it's interesting. I'm not going to try to find it now, but yeah, it's like as a developer, you could go in there and you could do some commands, and it actually changes the assets inside of Unity. And I find that very interesting because that could mean in terms of like open worlds, like that's super scalable, and it also shortens the development times for a lot of these like experiences.
yeah.
So very excited about that too as well. And I think David, you mentioned that they are exploring AI in terms of integrating them into the avatars or into your maybe collectibles or something. I don't think that would like they're going to roll that out for a while, but we did see Artifact, which is Nike's brand, not one of Nike's like Web3 companies. They directly actually they were talking at GTC with NVIDIA about this, integrating AI into their avatars. So if you're an
Yeah.
Artifact holder, very exciting because they are building an immersive experience. So Artifact is one of the brands I love to watch because they do a lot of similar things with Vivi, and Vivi does a lot of similar things with what they do in terms of like AR, VR, and now AI. So, anyways, very interesting in terms
Didn't
of
well,
like where it
didn't
could
the
go.
when we went to DCon, Dan say or like somebody say during one of the announcements that you could like do your own coding inside of the VVverse or
There
no?
was going to be like creator tools, so you'd be able to create stuff. I don't know what that looks like, and I don't know how far they're going to take that.
Okay.
And I've asked about that, and I don't know the answer to that. And I do know, however, that they will allow like creator showrooms. So like, you know, the vault masters out there in the community can build out these like crazy vaults and things like that. And then they can sell the template. So I know that's going to be a thing in the future. I just don't know like how soon that's going to be, you know.
Yeah. No, yeah, that comment you just pulled up was when NFT dads NFTs. That's another cool thought. Like if we ever dropped like some like a app for this podcast,
Hmm.
um, the fact that it could actually be in VV, you know, because like VV is going to allow other assets to come in. Now I wonder how that's going to work, Kyle. Like because they straight up said that you'll be able to bring other assets and make them like or put them into the VV verse. So like, yeah, surely they're going to be on chain. So you just kind of connect it to VV and then it's there. I don't know, like, how do you feel like that's gonna work? Because like, it's not like I don't think you're gonna send it to VV. I guess you're just gonna kinda, like, use the VV's interface, but that means they would have to interact on a contract level. So that means they would have to connect a wallet. So, I don't know,
Wait,
maybe we'll
how are they gonna? What was the question again? What are they? How are they gonna do what now?
how how are they going to, allow other NFTs into their ecosystem?
Oh, yeah. So whether it's in Unity, so Unity is integrating the SDK with a lot of all these, you know, they have MetaMask, Immutable X Passport as well. So that could be an option. I would imagine that,
Oh, that's right, yeah, that's right.
yeah.
Just to be able to allow wallets, like, inside
Mhm.
of yeah, okay. Uh,
Yeah. So I think that's gonna be like you just connect to your wallet or whatever, and then you can port in your NFT. So I think it'll be something like that. Kind of like what like how Collabland works to identify your NFT. It just ports it in there. But we'll see. See, yeah. Speaking of shoes, Chris, when are you gonna wear your moon shoes? Are you gonna
Hey,
wear those?
yo, let me
Are you gonna?
showcase those. I'm
Wait,
so excited,
are
bro.
you gonna
I'm
wear those?
hyped. Let's
Are you
go.
gonna
I
wear
got some
those?
shoes.
Are
I'm
you
gonna
gonna
keep
wear?
on interrupting you until I can share
Are
my
you
shoes.
are you gonna wear those to decon?
Yeah, heck yeah, dude. I told you I'm never taking these things off.
Chris
So,
Dale's gonna answer the tough question. Is why he's stalling. I
so
wanna see those shoes. Like, do you? So do
now.
you have them?
So almost last year, I bought the first Puma NFT. I minted the thing. And since then, they've given me a ton of free stuff. One of the things they gave me was an airdropped NFT that looks like a shoe. And I held on to it for like 9 months. I could have sold it at any point. There's actually only like under 2,000 of this shoe, and then there's 2,000 of the other shoe-ish. I think there's actually less than that. And last night, I finally burnt my NFT for Puma to send me the space shoe, man. Like AI couldn't have even came up with this stuff. This is so advanced, man. I feel like if there's an afterlife, this is the shoe we're gonna be wearing in the afterlife. I'm pretty sure the utility of this shoe is it's gonna go with your soul if you believe in that. You
It's
know,
like the
wherever you're going.
Egyptian. Like, you
Yeah,
tuck
yeah,
them
yeah.
in,
Like
your
I'm
cockpit,
dying with these shoes, and these shoes are
transport
gonna be
you
with
into the
me.
metaverse. Like it's like Upload, that show, where like they upload and
Dude,
like when
that
you
show gave me
die,
so much existential crisis, but it was a really good show.
you just go into a metaverse
Yeah,
and you live
man, that's
there
kind of
forever.
crazy. So here it is. I burnt my Puma NFTs. I actually recorded the process, but it really wasn't that like interesting to like of the burning process. And these are the shoes, baby. Tell me that's not the future right there. That's
Do you I mean those are unique looking, Chris.
yeah, bro.
Yeah, I'd love to
People
see you
are
wear those one day
people
at
are gonna come
decon.
up to me and be like, the typical like, what are those? And I'm gonna be like, well, let me tell you about NFTs, and then
It's like
I can become that guy immediately.
yeah, it's like it's like Black Panther where she's like, "What are those?" Like it's like that.
Exactly. They're gonna
What
they're
are
gonna pull that
those?
on me, and then I'm gonna shill them NFTs and say this is the utility. I paid for reference, like seriously, like if somebody didn't know about NFTs and was like, I don't see the value in them. I paid maybe $250 to mint that Puma NFT. I'm trying to do the ETH terms. Since then I got the hold on, pull it down. You're distracting me.
And a
Oh my
Two are
god.
twins.
You remember this?
No, I don't want to talk about it. In the middle of a story.
Let's get some shoes.
I'm in the middle of a story.
No. This was
No.
an internet sensation. 60.
Yeah, I don't
You
care.
can continue. 68 million views way back
That's
in the day.
awesome. Yeah, it's like, bro, I do remember those shoes actually. That was like
Some
OG.
shoes.
It was OG YouTube when YouTube was more about like creation than it was like monetization. But anyways, back to these shoes. You may maybe lose I'm way too ADHD for this, Kyle. Back to okay,
I know
so
that's me too.
I paid $250 for the shoes. Since then, they airdropped me, or for the Puma NFT. Since then, they airdropped me the shoe NFT, which I just burned for this limited edition shoe, which I could probably sell and get my original investment back. They also dropped me a PFP, which was like the Puma PFP, and then they also airdropped me, or I still have the Genesis NFT, which is going to give me more utility in the future. So I've already gotten well over my value for that NFT, and that's an easy way to explain people like the use case and how useful NFTs are. Meanwhile, Puma is still making money off all these secondary sales.
Nice.
Yeah, you want to talk while I'm talking, but you don't want to respond. That's cool, man.
No, I'm just trying to get to
I
the
see how it
comments.
is.
No, I was just trying to catch up on the comments real quick and show those off real fast. I mean, we have some other topics as well. Magic Eden moving to ETH, Frank D Gods as well to Polygon.
Yeah, Magic Eden moving to ETH is pretty big. So Magic Eden is a primary marketplace for Solana, and this week they announced that they're going to also be trading ETH NFTs. So this is just interesting. It's another competitor for the ETH NFT field. Right now, you really have Blur dominating because of like people farming for their rewards, and then you have like OpenSea, of course, the one that everybody refers to. It's funny, like when people are like comparing VV NFTs to OpenSea NFTs. That's not really how it works. Like NFTs are in your wallet, and OpenSea is just one of the marketplaces that you can choose to list them on. So it's not a good comparison because it's not like they're OpenSea's NFTs. But anyways, it's gonna be another competitor. It's also interesting because that for people that are watching that are like just on VV, it's like that could be possible on VV one day. VV could choose to allow trading on another chain. That's essentially what they're doing. That'd be like VV saying, hey, we're going to allow assets on Polygon to be traded on our marketplace, or assets on Avalanche, or assets on Solana, or assets on you name it. You know, they'll be able to allow it.
Yeah, I saw that Magic Eden is starting a Web3 gaming like division as well. Did you see that?
Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities for Solana gaming because the transactions are so cheap. So it's gonna be compatible with Polygon.
Competable?
Compatible. It's a word now.
I'm so giggly this today. I don't know why, man. I just want like I don't know. I think it's because I ate a sugary donut and like it's jacking up my like insulin levels. So I just want to like
Oh,
laugh.
nice.
Yeah, I haven't had that much sugar like at breakfast in a long time. Binance uncertainty could be a big deal.
Yeah, Binance
Is
is
on the pod list here.
what's that?
Is this one gonna? What's this gonna do? Is this gonna?
Yeah, this could be an FTX situation. Like it's honestly a really big deal. I don't know if you heard, but like Binance is getting in trouble for essentially since like 2019, they're trying to like take away all, or they're trying to charge them for like all the fees they've charged for like the last few years because of some like potentially sketchy practices. I'll pull up the document. Here. Don't pull up my screen yet.
Oh, pulled it up.
Oh
Everybody can see. It's in the green screen. It's not in the green room anymore. I got 2 DC Kingdom Come comics today. Nice.
Oh, and the Safe Moon thing was also a big deal. Did you hear about that?
Seifu. Oh yeah, Safe Moon. Like yeah, what they? It essentially like collapsed or rugged or something. I don't know.
Yeah, somebody exploited one of the pools and stole $8.9 million out of the pool. And what they did was it essentially, ironically, you know, we've been talking about burning a lot this week. They found a burning mechanism in the contract. And so what they did is they burnt a bunch of Safe Moon that inflated the price, and then they converted it to BNB and sold on that pressure and liquidated the entire pool. So they essentially took $8.9 million from a single pool.
Safe Moon.
Yeah,
Breaking news, Safe Moon.
The irony. So much irony in that.
It's not Seifu. It's important not to. Yeah, that's why it's so important to, you know, not invest into things like that sometimes. Or if you make a lot of profits, like you could always rotate it back into ETH and Bitcoin because they're so decentralized, and it's insanely difficult to do a 51% attack on those chains because it's so decentralized and how it works.
Yeah.
And
this was just a single
coming
pool,
blockchains, like even like Cardano, that is like Cardano. It's a single pool. Okay, so it's not like the entire blockchain, just a pool. But so like Cardano, for example, like it's gonna be quantum resistant. So even if a quantum computer came out, it would still resist a quantum computer, which is pretty insane.
That's an interesting.
So there's blockchains that are like that too.
How like quantum computers could affect blockchains. Like, hey, I'm sure you've looked into that over the last few years. Like, essentially, if a blockchain has a weakness,
yeah, it's been
like a quantum computer could possibly exploit it, and which would defeat like the entire purpose of a blockchain being like solid. I don't know what word to use for it, like safe, I guess.
Well, there's a couple things there with that. Is you have to look at it in terms of AI and quantum computing. So like if you have a quantum AI, like imagine that. Then it's not necessarily that like the first target probably would be like a stock market because there is no cryptography in a stock market, and you could manipulate the price in a stock way easier than it would like than just cryptographically like hacking or trying to break, you know, cryptography. But it is a discussion that is being had, and people are still trying to find ways and solutions to prevent that when quantum computing becomes big. And even like nations like that have quantum computers and they will have those capabilities in the future. That's definitely still a topic because again, that, you know, nations get caught hacking all the time. We kind of know this. Cyber, all that. I'm not trying to get into that topic because I don't want to get demonetized, but that is going on.
Oh,
So it does that's a huge topic in the wider space for sure. But yeah, it's like, what if you have an AI so smart it can just like the Johnny Depp movie? I don't know if you ever seen that where it's called Transcend. He becomes an AI and then he like is able to infiltrate like every single market, every single thing, and he makes himself rich and builds like a own city or like his own town. And I don't know, it's insane. It's
yeah,
insane.
he's like a pirate too, right? And like wants to steal like gold.
Yeah, I think Jack Sparrow is yeah.
I found the Binance. So earlier on the Binance topic, the CFTC basically tried to formally charge Binance with like a bunch. Like there's like pages and pages of documents. So I'm not going to pull that up. But here's his response. Can you pull that up real quick, Kyle?
I don't see it.
To the bottom.
I can pull this up.
Oh my god, it's creepy. Oh, stop. Here, I'll redo it.
It's ready. It says it's red. Okay, there it goes.
Oh no, there, yeah. Here it is. This is the CEO of Binance's response to CFTC charges. Do you know what that means, Kyle? Do you know what that means?
No, I'm not. No, I don't do that.
Oh, basically he's saying that it's FUD, which is funny. So like anytime you see him do that, he just means that CFTC is fudding and that they're just like trying to overregulate crypto and scare people.
It's not West East Side, like the W and an E, maybe like what?
No,
like kind of like cardinal directions.
But so essentially, he's not very worried about it.
Because Binance is kind of like in the West and East, so that's what he's really saying. He's like, "Yo, we up in this."
I think this also resulted in halted withdrawals in the U.S. I don't know about just with Binance, but
no, it's exchange signs. That's really what it is.
Exchange signs.
Yeah,
no, I was just saying 4. I'm not throwing up.
It's like interoperability. Web3. That's what it really is. Web3. So you got the W in 3. So he's like Web3, baby.
That's what.
All right, sorry. Lame dad joke alert. More tokens need hackathons to close holes like that. Totally agree. If we have quantum AI, we will have bigger problems than that. Yeah. Talk about so at that point, like I think humans are just gonna be like throwing Neuralinks in their brains at that point. Because then it's like you have like the brainiacs. Like, I mean, as funny as it sounds, like you have like. Did you ever read DC Comics like Brainiac and like all that?
No.
And no,
I didn't.
Okay. Well, yeah. So it's like super smart, highly intelligent villains that take over like the entire universe. It's like he's like one of the most intelligent beings in the entire like DC universe. And yeah, so it could be scary in a nutshell. And it's funny because they're just comics and it's fantasy, but some of that stuff may actually kind of play out a little bit. I don't know. Maybe not though. Maybe not. Sorry. Yeah. Donut. Hey, I just had a donut this morning. Good chat, breakfast of the brain. Also, let me get one of those donuts, Kyle.
I had a Lara
Yeah,
bar.
man.
You know what that is?
It's a Lucid Donut, apparently. Yeah.
I had one of those. They have like 4 ingredients, so or less. But I'm not against eating sugar. I just did it this morning. Another big news
What are
in
the
the
ingredients?
What's that?
What are the ingredients in a Lara bar?
Dates, and then like it depends on like what type of Lara bar you get. Like I do banana chocolate chip a lot, so it's like literally just like dates, bananas, chocolate chips, and then like one other ingredient. So like they're pretty simple. Other big news in the crypto and NFT space this week is that Ticketmaster just decided that they were going to put their tickets on the blockchain. So we're going to see some music NFTs and other things, and they're going to put it on the Flow blockchain, which is where like the NBA Top Shot and Doodles now and some other NFT projects are on. So I'll just go ahead and read the bullet point.
With the super chat.
Heyo, great content,
Go ahead,
bro.
go ahead.
Congrats to everyone that got the Van Gogh. Oh yeah, on the Elmon X drop, which I did not participate in, but it looked cool.
Yeah, I wanted to. I'm still like, I signed up. I'm doing the flight test, like the like you can download the beta app. I'm trying to like figure it all out. I tried to get the first drop unsuccessfully, but we will keep trying. We will keep trying.
Can you hear me when I'm done like this?
And yeah.
What's that? Okay, sweet. So this is an NFT
Yep.
Now's article. Shout out to NFT Now. I actually help run their spaces, and I'll be running one tonight. I also just minted their NFT last week. But anyways, they're talking about the Ticketmaster taking substantial step towards NFTs. I'm just going to read the bullet point. I already talked about this one. So we're going to put the NFTs are positioned to offer ticket owning events attendees richer experience. Primarily, the linked NFTs hope to offer Ticketmaster event goers Web3 analogs to IRL events where they receive NFTs. Recipients of linked NFTs may gain access to VIP experiences according to Flow. Otherwise, the NFTs can simply serve as a blockchain memorabilia for events. The execution of each event ticket ties into the event organizer. So this is big to me because literally since I first got interested in NFTs, you can go ahead and pull this down, Kyle. Since I first got interested in NFTs, this was always, of course, I'm not going to tell story. You were talking to me about not talking a lot, and every time I try to talk, you like do something like this.
What?
Nothing, bro.
What?
Nothing.
What do you mean?
F it.
What are you talking about?
Well, no.
Chris, what?
I don't know
what?
how to. I would let myself down. Oh my god.
What do you mean? Are you why did you get distracted?
God. You know, what's funny is if anybody actually listens to this and doesn't like doesn't watch it, they're gonna be like, what is going on? Freaking Kyle. I think one of the first times we did a live together, you wore that stupid mask.
Hey.
That's a bat cow. That's OG bat cow.
I mean, yeah. I don't know what I mean.
OG bat cow.
Maybe I'm Batman, maybe I'm not.
I don't think you are. You do got a Todd. I also got a Todd. Kind of a proof of going thing. Yeah. That's essentially, it's a proof of attendance. It's cool to me. So I went to a Billie Eilish concert. Yeah, I know. It's kind of, I feel like some people are like, whoa, what? You're too old for that, but whatever. I went to a Billie Eilish concert with my wife last year. And during like the last week, like things came up and we originally thought we weren't going to be able to go. And the ticket company we were using, which I think was Ticketmaster, restricted us from being able to sell our tickets because like of whatever. So NFTs fix that because NFTs, you have sole ownership of them. So at any given point, you could sell that ticket on the blockchain and, commit to not going or commit to going. On top of that, you'll be able to have a proof of attendance that will always be in your wallet saying that you went to this event. Now, you kind of already have ticket stubs. Like that's why people collect tickets from memory events, which I do sometimes. If I go to a movie that it's just I have a really good time, I really enjoy the movie, I'll keep the ticket. But this will be in your wallet and easy to access and easy to see. On top of that, you could also get airdrop stuff for holding these tickets. There's so many use cases for NFT tickets, so I'm glad that Ticketmaster is kind of jumping in.
Yeah. I predicted that too a while back, and I was like, NFTs would be perfect for tickets because I know my grandpa, he used to go to baseball games, and that's what they did. Is like you said, people collect tickets, and especially you start talking about World Series, Super Bowl tickets, like those could be massively collectible, especially if the Super Bowl is like overly hyped, and you get like a insane athlete playing. And then again, like you said, like these companies like the NFL could be like, oh, we see you went to the Super Bowl, or whoever holds these tickets gets a unique collectible of Pat Mahomes, throwing a end zone pass to, whoever. And so that could be really cool. There's a lot to explore, or they could give you a discount for the next Super Bowl, being like, oh, we saw you come to last year's Super Bowl. Here's, 20% off of VIP seating, or I don't know. Well, they could do a lot, is the point being there. So I'm very excited about that too. And I know like Dallas was one of the first cities to do this with Ticketmaster and using NFTs. So again, seeing it scaled up just makes sense. I agree.
Somebody said Chris has
Um,
a Crypto Tony said Chris
Chris,
has
that's so,
a
Chris,
crypto
that's
punk
so
filter on. Dude, yeah, I need to fix my internet. I mean,
looks
I think I just need
retro.
to. I think I just need to upgrade my my like, internet package. I guess. And my webcam's great. I just not even a webcam; it's a camera. It's just my internet.
Internet. So Chris is in the sandbox right now. That's why. That's why.
I need just a
I think
talking
he
avatar. I
downgrade.
guess.
He for
What?
sure, for sure. All right, so we're coming up on an hour. We went through a lot. We wore the Batman mask. Chris was in the sandbox. We talked about a lot. So we forgot to mention IMX updates. That's a one random one we could hit real quick. There's let me pull it up here. We have kind of a bigger update. So let me pop this one up. This one's going to be definitely the staple to end it here on today's podcast. Let me throw it up there real fast. But this one's a big one. This one's a big one. So you can see here, I know it's hard to kind of see, so let me try to zoom in real quick. It says one of Web3's boldest experience right now is IMVU, which is the world's largest friendship discovery and social platform. But he goes on to say that they have 7 million monthly players, monetizes mostly via secondary fees on the database. When it launches on Immutable this year, it will be instantly become the most used consumer app, not just a game overnight. Also, because I literally got this wrong for a decade, it's pronounced what is that? IMView? So I guess it's IMView. Will be interesting to see more of these Web 2 games get into Web 3 conversions, particularly or for highly analogous economies where it's simply replacing existing business model with a 10x better one. It says they don't know IMView what is it again? IMView. So IMView has 7 million players about to adopt IMX. Big. Very bigly or no?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Hold on.
Pretty exciting. And IMX Passport comes out literally, I think, in like half a month now. So they announced it was going to come out, I think, in April. I also downloaded some of their leaked files. They accidentally streamed this like test
Nice.
stream, and it had like some key dates on it. So I might do a video on that. So I don't know.
Ooh, gonna get in trouble. Better hope that they're public.
Yep. Hey, I leaked Pokemon when they went on their test net.
I remember that. Yeah.
So maybe that's why they
test net.
haven't reached out to me yet. Maybe they're like, we don't like this guy, man. He's leaking stuff. But that's all we got for this one, man. Another DEGEN Dads podcast episode completed. We are introducing to a playlist on our YouTube channels where it will show all the episodes of the DEGEN Dad pod. So if you missed out, be not afraid because we have playlists coming to you on our channels. It's literally under the podcast tab on each of me and Chris's channel. So you can go back and look at all of our podcasts and archive of all that. And with that being said, Chris, any final, well, for real though, any like last pieces you wanted to talk about, or where can people find you, stuff like that?
Yeah, we'll be on my channel next week. Hopefully I will fix my internet by then, and hopefully people that go back and watch this will be more interested in listening than watching, because I guess I looked like a crypto punk the entire time. Apologize for that. Let me go ahead for the live viewers, see if I can get this link for the free wearable. Just like while you're here, you might as well drop some alpha. You know, we like to drop alpha at the end of the episode, and I don't know if I consider this alpha per se, but let's see if there's any more available because it was pretty recent.
All right, while you're doing that too, yeah, there's airdrops too. So more airdrops are coming. MetaMask is suspected of doing an airdrop. ZK Sync.
No, MetaMask came out and said that it was
it's fake.
It's fake.
Yeah, I thought it was though. It was like not like somebody's tweet how they were like trying to do it or something, but they didn't necessarily. They're not going to do one at all.
Yeah, they didn't deny like ever doing one. It's just like, I guess like it's not like there's one around the corner or something.
Yeah, but some guy wrote a thread on like a possible way of just using their portfolio website thing that they have and just like bridging back and forth from like Arbitrum to like you know, I don't know, like ZK Sync, because it's like literally no fees. It's like a penny, and it's like dit, 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 dit. But and then there is ZK Sync. That is pretty much one that will probably come as well. And there's a couple others out there, but we'll get to that next week. We got to save some of the sweet, sweet alpha for you.
Yeah, you're right. We do got to save some of it, and I do think that these wearables are out. So,
all right. Well, you got to catch it next week. We got some airdrop alpha. Chris has got some alpha. We'll tune in next week on his channel next week. So be sure you have notifications turned on so you don't miss a DEGEN Dads podcast. And with that being said, we will see you guys later. Be like an NFT. Be pixelated. And we'll see you next week. Peace.